All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathaniel from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. Now, HUD is to remove. And this is going to be like a compilation video. A couple of things. One about HUD. Millions of people are set to potentially lose their homes and their stipends for to be able to pay their bills. Okay, and again, this is nothing more than an oppression of the poor. All right, and prophecy coming to pass. All right, so we see one, HUD is now calling for everyone that has a HUD home to verify their immigration status within 30 days. And if they don't, then you will remove your stipend. Okay. And this is a big setup to have all of these people, including y'all jakes, y'all niggas. This ain't just for the Northern Kingdom, because hey, remember they always use the Northern Kingdom first as a means to target the Southern Kingdom. You remember they say the saying is the Southern Kingdom, the Northern Kingdom get it first, the Southern get it the worst. Okay, so they're gonna start using this. Oh, all of these illegal immigrants, they have HUD money coming in, so we got to go in and check to see if whether or not these are legal, if they're legally collecting the money. But how many Jakes ain't gonna be able to verify their citizenship status in 90 days? They're gonna come up with all type of shit you gotta send them in order to verify whether or not you're a citizen. And you're gonna have a lot of everyday Jakes, right? That's not gonna be able to get all that stuff together. All right. So this is the article from HUD. It says HUD demands public housing officials to check for immigrants. And it says Washington, and this is the New York Times, all right, and this was on 20 on a Friday is when this was posted, January 2023, January 23rd, 2026, and it says Washington, the Trump administration has stepped up its efforts to comb public housing rolls for immigration lacking permanent legal status, telling public housing authorities across the country Friday that they will face sanctions if they do not adequately verify whether tenants meet eligible requirements. The Department of Housing and Urban Development said in the statement that after completing an audit of federally funded public housing system, it has uncovered nearly 200,000 tenants who have not been explicitly verified as eligible for housing assistance, as well as nearly 6,000 ineligible non-American tenants. Okay, now Scott Turner, from the former pro football player whom President Donald Trump picked to lead HUD, they picked a former pro football player to lead HUD, said that the agency was rooting out abuse of taxpayer resources. What about sending hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries? Okay. So it says Michael Horgan, a spokesperson for the New York City Housing Authority, noted in a statement that the federal government already required housing authorities to submit documents indicating the citizenship status of all its tenants. We are evaluating the latest guidance and will assess and act accordingly. He said. HUD did not answer the question about whether or not it was seeking whether information HUD did not answer about what information it was seeking about tenants. It did not address a request to result in audit. The Council of Large Public Housing Authorities and organizations that represent nearly 40% of the public housing nationwide stressed in a settlement that public housing authorities follow federal regulations and guidelines from the federal government. There are more than 2.2 million residents in public housing nationwide. And it's even more than that, okay? That's what it says, even more, okay? This is a low bottom number, all right? Now, when I looked it up on AI, right, it says proposed changes to U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD policies include potential time limits on assistance, stricter work requirements and funding, and shifts away from permanent housing could jeopardize housing for millions. Estimates suggest that up to 3.3 million to 4 million people could lose or face disruption in housing assistance, primarily affecting working families, seniors, and people with disabilities. Now, we know for a fact that there's not 4 million people in HUD houses, 4 million illegal immigrants in HUD houses. We know that. Okay? So who are all these people? These are everyday Jakes. Some of them are going to be white women. A lot of them will be white women, but they're not counting those. Okay? Because you know how they kind of omit certain demographics. All right? But all of the Jakes, oh yeah, they're counting those. And it talks about time limits on assistance, homelessness age shift, which they never really gave homeless age, but you can Google it, right? And you will be able to see. So I want to go to Second Ezra, and I'm gonna start at verse 70. I'm gonna start at verse 69. And it says, and they that consented unto them shall be had in derision. Y'all stupid MFers voted for these people, man. Y'all consented to this shit. That's why you don't get no mercy or no kind of, when you sit there and say, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I feel so betrayed. I feel like, oh my gosh, he betrayed me. Bro, but y'all voted for this devil. Okay? At one point in time, right, did the devil stop being the devil? When did this devil show you that he can be trusted? He never did. But see, y'all get caught up in that bullshit, and now look at you. It says, and they that consented unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. You wonder why ICE is targeting y'all. You wonder why y'all in derision. You wonder why y'all getting all these programs are getting ripped from y'all. Because y'all consented onto these devils. You cast your vote to them for them to put you in this position. Okay? It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. He ain't sparing nobody. This is why you see that Edomite that got shot the other day, and that Edomite woman that gets shot. They don't care no more, man. They don't care about y'all. Y'all thought they cared about y'all, but they don't care about y'all. Okay? And they're going, and here's the point right here. And it says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And that's where we are. And this is just not just going to stop at HUD, okay? They're going to be casting many Jakes out of their houses. They're already doing it. But now they're developing a legal framework to be able to do it, okay? Just like ICE now is saying they can just go into your house without warrants. Well, yeah, okay? So especially y'all women, y'all about to be through. You Jake women out there, you nigga women that been dependent on the system. Oh, y'all about to be finished. Because most of y'all shit is fraud anyway. Okay? A lot of y'all Jake women, y'all didn't get into them houses legitly. Y'all did all that shit by fraud. Okay? So when it comes down to verify information, you ain't gonna be able to verify a lot of information because guess what? It was fraud to begin with. Alright? So we already see that these people are about to get cast out of their houses. Alright? So let's just listen to let's listen to a video.
Breaking right now. This is breaking right now. Millions of homes are suddenly at risk, and both tenants and landlords likely won't see it coming until it's too late. New federal housing rules just dropped today, and this impacts both landlords and tenants. And if you're renting with a voucher, or you own subsidized units, this changes everything right now. HUD just ordered every public housing authority in the entire country to verify citizenship of all its tenants within 30 days or lose your funding. That's nearly 1 million households on the line right now. For landlords who accept vouchers and HUD funding, well, there's a couple pieces to this, right? So first of all, if you don't verify within 30 days that all of your tenants are citizens of the United States and have proof of that, they're going to cut the funding so that you will not receive payments for those tenants. Now, additionally, on top of that, if part of the family are citizens and part of them are not, they're going to give you the part that are citizens. They'll pay you that part, and the remainder, you won't get paid for that. If they find out that you've been housing people who are not citizens for an extended period of time or however long that is, they're also going to back charge you for payments that you received for non-citizens, that you received Section 8 payments for, or voucher payments, some kind of subsidized HUD payments for. You're going to get back charged for that as well. All this is taking place right now, and you have to prove it within 30 days. This is serious stuff. And for the tenants who are going to be impacted by that, this isn't just bureaucratic red tape. This is your home. And I know this is very serious. And this is serious in multiple ways. I realize that, one, you may lose your subsidy. You may lose your lease anyway because now you're a risk to your landlord. And at this point, this makes the landlord have to choose between helping you and preserving themselves. It's not a good situation to be in. And all of this is on top of additional proposals coming out that will slash housing vouchers for millions more people. Everybody watching this video, please share this. Even if it doesn't impact you directly, please share this. It impacts so many people, your friends, your family, co-workers. And if you're actually living in subsidized housing, or if you're a landlord who accepts housing vouchers, comment help in the comments, and I'm gonna walk you through steps.
All right, you see that? So, as I was saying, as I said, they about to, hey man, Esau's about to come in like a flood, man. Okay? He's about to come in like a flood. He's about to be throwing people out of their houses. All right? In addition to that, on a side note, okay, another video a couple videos, right, that I came across. I came across this one. This one right here. And she's going in how they're talking about not allowing Americans to leave this country. Let's take a listen.
Well, this is scary. It's not shocking that they are now starting to talk about this. It's not shocking to me at all because I watched The Handmaid's Tale. I read Project 2025. So it's not surprising, but it's shocking that they are now talking about this. Before we get into it, I'm Tabitha. If you aren't following me, please hit that follow button. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers. We talk politics over here by way of viral news stories. Let's get into this viral post. This is a series of posts that is going around over on social media. I'm going to read them for you. The first one says, one of the big sources of our money leaking to other countries is people traveling and touring abroad. Should the president stop issuing passports until these countries stop ripping us off? The next tweet, why are we issuing passports when there's still openings in hotels on the Gulf Coast? Americans should spend their money in America, creating American jobs and seeing the beautiful American sceneries. The last tweet, there is a Paris in Texas too. Same is true for many world cities, which by the way are mostly reconstructed, so the buildings aren't as old as you think. If you watch The Handmaid's Tale, then you know that not only did they close the borders from people coming into the country, they closed the borders for those of us who are inside the country. They prohibited us from being able to leave the country. This is scary because this basically implies that Americans should not have the freedom to leave this country if they choose to do so, whether permanently or to go on vacation. This implies that they want to hold the American taxpayer hostage in this hellscape.
All right, so y'all heard that. Now, this lady right here, she has a great perspective on the movements of ICE. All right, and it makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this one too. When you couple that with this video, it makes even more sense. So let's give it a play.
Good morning. ICE is kettling the United States. They are kettling us. That's why they keep doing these seemingly random things and going to these random states. They're not random. They're kettling us. They started in Portland, Oregon. They have a large ICE presence there. They went to Minnesota. They have a large ICE presence there. They're now in Maine. They're moving a lot of ICE agents over there. It's not just like random. It's not just retaliation. They're not looking for undocumented people. They're not looking for people who have broken the law. They are kettling us. They placed large groups of ICE agents strategically at the border so that they can more easily move more ICE agents to other states that border Canada so we can't leave. They're canceling people's passports. They're kettling us into the United States. They're about to do some heinous fuck shit with us. Just so y'all know. Good morning.
She's an attractive woman, by the way, but yeah, absolutely. They're about to do some heinous fuck shit. Now let's look. What is that word? Let's see what that word means. It says kettling, confined by the police of a group of demonstrators or protests in a small area. Method of crowd control. So they're doing a nationwide kettling. Okay? Now, I got one more video I'm going to play, and then we're going to go into that second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Now, here it is. Now, this video, I seen this video about maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and I didn't even think nothing of it. But then when you take all of this and put it together, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Pay attention.
You can quit building the wall.
Listen to what he about to say.
It's paid. Build the wall. Did you hear about that? You know why? Why is that? Okay, so whoever's over here, they're gonna try to go back.
They're gonna try to come back to Mexico.
To Mexico. Getting ready for a collapse.
A collapse.
On the dollar. So they thinking that a lot of people's gonna start trying to go back. Yeah. So now
this coming from the wall.
Everybody back.
Coming from Mexico. So basically what he just told us was that they're paying them so Americans can't leave when it collapses. That's very interesting. And the dollar is collapsing. That was one of those things that make you scratch your head and make you say.
All right, so you heard that, right? Now he said, now this is a Hispanic guy saying that they're being paid to keep Americans in, so that when this thing finally goes down in its full glory, you ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. Ain't no getting across the border. All right, they're gonna trap Americans in on both sides, on the Mexican border and on the Canadian border. You're not getting out of America. Now, when you go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. (15 and 14) says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands." And this is, you can go into Isaiah in the 19th chapter, Egyptian against the Egyptian, okay? A kingdom divided against itself, Book of Matthew cannot stand, so we know that this place is divided, okay? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. This is not just going to your neighboring city or neighboring state. This is also going to be able to be talking about leaving the country as well. You're not going to be able to escape this, man. This is why all of the rich millionaires or billionaires had already left America in years prior, okay? Because they knew it was going to come a point where you cannot leave this place anymore. All right? And that's where we're at right now. They're about to this America's an altar, okay? And a lot of people about to be sacrificed, all right? So you can see they're about to cut the funding for the housing, and they're going to cause a lot of homelessness, and people are going to be cast out of their homes. And then on top of that, when people try to return, like you're going to have a lot of immigrants, a lot of Hispanics that's going to try to return back to Mexico. They're not going to be able to go, okay? You're not going to be able to leave this place, all right? They are putting they're corralling people into this country, so you ain't got no choice but to meet this destruction that's coming. All right. So hey, we here, man. Y'all, you need to just go ahead and get ready. For this blood to run in the street because it's about to run. That Project 2026, they weren't lying about that, man. Okay, they about to shed some blood and they about to come in with great wrath. Okay, what I just brought out, he should come down with. Oh, you know what? Let me get that. Let me close out with that. You better turn that off, whatever it is you're listening to. This is Revelation 12 and 12. And it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. So hey, get ready, man. It's not gonna stop, it's just gonna intensify. So with that, I'm gonna end it by giving all praise, glory, and honor to you. How about Shem Yahshai, about Shem Rakal Kadesh? Until next time, I can say Shalom.